The 76ers are becoming dangerously exciting right now. And yes, if they continue to look like this, you should actually buy back in. I can't believe I'm saying it either. But beyond the wins and the losses, a couple specific factors that have not been present recently are now there. And they're starting to click because of it. So we're going to talk about all that and more right here on Philly Take with RB. And I said a few weeks ago that throughout this season, we would have certain check-ins, right? Certain checkpoints. And through the 2025 game mark, I said, I don't know who this team is. They don't have an identity. But guess what? Now they're starting to finally put it all together, and I'm seeing one. And I know there's people already in the comments of this video. As I clicked start, there's already people down there going off. RB, how dare you switch up again? You weren't saying this stuff 2 weeks ago. Well, you're damn right. No, I wasn't. Guess what? I tell you the unfiltered, unbiased truth as it happens. And this team has changed so much already this season. We are 34 games in. Think about the start of the season. Think about 12 games in, 18 games in. Think about 34 games in. It has been an absolute roller coaster ride. I don't know if our sanity is going to make it to game 82. But I'll tell you what, I'm here for it. And I know there's already people down in the comments as well saying, but RB, why are you putting this video out the day after the Sixers had maybe their worst loss in a very long time? You're right. It was very bad and it was ugly. And I even said on my post-game show that if the game against the Knicks was the best game in the last 3 years, then that was probably the worst loss in the last 3 years. Here's my final thoughts on the game last night. The 76ers lost a once-in-a-blue-moon fluke type of game. And it's hilarious to me because you have all of these Denver Nuggets fans tweeting out like they just won the NBA championship. Don't you understand that for a lot of these teams, beating the 76ers is their championship at this point? They relish in it. The Denver Nuggets fans have been waiting 2 years to put something out. I haven't heard them for 2 years. You know why? Because Joel Embiid dropped 47, 18, and 7 or whatever it was and hit a game winner on Nikola Jokic. Joel Embiid is 6-2 against Nikola Jokic in his career. So I actually find it hilarious that the Nuggets fan base is parading over a fluke win. That would not happen 99 times out of 100. And credit to those Nuggets players. They played hard. They did exactly what they had to do. They went on the road and got the job done. Salute to them. But the 76ers know that they slipped up. Joel Embiid admitted it last night. And matter of fact, you have a Denver Nuggets player. This is real. I couldn't believe it. I was cracking up all day. Who goes on LinkedIn, a place where you go to essentially have a business professional profile to try to find jobs. And he went and tweeted about his win last night. Spencer Jones. He called the 76ers a top team in the Eastern Conference. This guy went and promoted the win on LinkedIn. I could not believe that. That is how fluky that win was. And maybe Nuggets fans are just bored. Maybe they're tired because they won that championship a couple years ago and it was a great run for them. And they thought that they were starting a dynasty and they've never been able to show anything since. Didn't their owner just say this past year that they might have to trade Jokic eventually because of the apron rules? Yeah, I'm not worried about the Nuggets. Let them parade in a fluke win. The 76ers continue to move onwards and forward. And speaking of which, I am still very happy with what I'm seeing from the big three, now the big four, and they might get some more reinforcements very soon. Nick Nurse talked yesterday before the game, saying that Oubre and Watford should be back any day now. And we have a Sixers injury report for their game tomorrow against Washington. And guess who is now upgraded to questionable? Oubre and Watford. They have been ruled out every single game for what, a month? Getting Oubre and Watford back is going to make this team even more lethal. I don't think people remember what Kelly Oubre was doing at the beginning of the season. He is the third leading scorer on this team. He was averaging 16.8 points per game. He was shooting almost 2 threes a game at a 34% clip, and he was averaging 5 boards a game and a steal. And let me tell you, the Sixers need some defensive help. We saw that last night. But I think Oubre will be a big reinforcement into that equation. And Trendon Watford will, of course, provide more forward depth, right? The Sixers have a decision to make on Jabari Walker coming up soon. Barlow, I think, has been playing pretty well, but the Sixers are about to get even better. And you know why the Sixers are still promising to me? You know why the 76ers right now, despite nobody talking about them, are climbing up the Eastern Conference? They're now 5th. They're tied with a couple teams, but they are climbing on Toronto and New York and Boston. It's because they're finally healthy. Yeah, what we said all year about can they get healthy, there's no longer a question of is the talent, is the fit, all that there. Can they get on the floor? We now see what it looks like, what they envisioned when they signed Paul George. Now you add VJ Edgecombe into that mix. But again, still a long season. Should we bet on Joel Embiid to stay healthy? Probably not. But I really hope he does, man. He's having so much fun out there. Joel Embiid has played 4 games in a 7-day span. When's the last time we said that? His season high 40 minutes last night in an overtime game, and his average this week is 36.5 minutes. He's moving around well. He's able to find his shots on the floor. He's running some 2-man game. He's actually getting up off his knee to block shots. He is looking the best that he has looked in a very long time. And this is the version of Joel that they need to succeed in the playoffs. We always knew that, right? But he has to stay healthy and get there. I think the difference now is that he actually has more help around him, more guys to take some of the load off his plate. Joel Embiid, if you didn't know this, is averaging the most points per game by any center in the Eastern Conference right now. And he's only trailing Jokic and Wemby in the entire NBA. I mean, look at these recent game logs: 32-10-2, 26-10-5, 22-4-6, 34-10-8, 31-5-1. The list goes on. So Joel Embiid is playing some very good basketball. And on top of all that, he is only averaging 29 minutes a game. So he's doing this in 29 minutes, a limited sample size. Who knows what the ceiling can be for Joel Embiid this season? The next reason is because of Tyrese Maxey. And Tyrese Maxey today is now listed at 3rd in the East in fan voting for the All-Star game. He now trails Jalen Brunson slightly, even though he outplayed him twice. The whole fan thing is just a popularity contest, but people are seeing Tyrese Maxey. He is putting the league on notice. And again, there's been a lot of commotion about Maxey recently, his late game decisions. I agree he can be better. I agree he messed up last night. He lost the ball at the end of the 4th, and he slipped up at the last second in overtime. Everybody makes mistakes. But what Tyrese Maxey has done this season to keep this team afloat, to continue to be that number 1 guy, take that leap, is absolutely sensational. It is phenomenal. We don't need to pick sides, go Maxey or Embiid. Why can't we just appreciate both of them together? What Tyrese Maxey is doing is phenomenal, and even LeBron gave him his props today. He says, quote, he's one of the best point guards, not only in the East, but in the entire NBA. So obviously they train together, but LeBron knows. People are seeing what Tyrese Maxey's doing. And for the notion that Tyrese Maxey is hurting the 76ers, because that's what some Sixer fans say, I think they're just frustrated overall about wanting this team to win every single game, which is not possible or realistic. But we can put that to bed right here, because I was looking at some of the advanced statistics, right? And Tyrese Maxey leads the 76ers in win shares, essentially, as the stat says here on Basketball Reference, an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player. The next highest on the 76ers is 2. By VJ Edgecombe, Andre Drummond, and Quentin Grimes. So how does that rank compared to the rest of the NBA? He's number 4. Actually, he's tied for 3rd. He's tied with Jokic, SGA, and Jimmy Butler for win shares. So again, we can put all that to bed. We can look at some of these other statistics, right? All the numbers don't tell the entire picture, but you look at true shooting, Maxey's at 61%. Oubre was at 61% too, which is crazy. And Maxey has to be treated differently because of his usage, right? VJ Edgecombe is phenomenal, and he's another reason why the 76ers are taking this leap that they are right now mid-season. Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that is taking things to the next level. They are the best one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can chat on games in real time with other users. You can get the latest news, scores, and alerts right at your fingertips. And you can play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. With Sleeper's Picks, all you have to do is choose anywhere from 2 to 8 of your favorite players. This could be pregame, live game, or even across different sports. And then you just pick the over or under, more or less than the predicted stats. That's it. You can make these entries in less than 30 seconds with a $1 minimum entry. And on Sleeper, if your picks win, you can get up to 1,000 times your payout. So right now, download the Sleeper app, use the promo code PhillyTake, and get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And right now, as a special promo, Sleeper is actually offering a free $20 entry with no deposit required. All you have to do is sign up and use the code PhillyTake to claim your free promo. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And I mean, again, last night, they were down by 5 with 1:30 to go, and they're running a play for VJ Edgecombe. You see Joel kind of motion out to the side here and let VJ go one-on-one, and VJ's going to take his guy off the dribble. This is not something that he did at Baylor. And didn't do well. Like, it was developing, but it was very early. So this guy's already improving little by little, and the confidence to take that shot. And on top of that, VJ Edgecombe joined Steph Curry last night as the only rookies with these kind of numbers in a basketball game. 17 points, 8 boards, 9 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 5 threes. He also had 0 points at halftime. So his ability and willingness to stay aggressive, to be able to turn it on, it's very special from a 20-year-old kid. Like, he just has that clutch gene in him and that second half ability. And speaking of clutch, best field goal percentage in the clutch for this entire regular season so far. VJ is number 2, 58.8% behind only Anthony Edwards. So the sky's the limit for this guy. You think about what this team can blossom into, right? Maxey, VJ, Paul George's defensive ability, Joel Embiid, niche role players like Oubre and Barlow. If Jared McCain gets going, if Quentin Grimes can stay hot off the bench, you're telling me this team can't be a force in the Eastern Conference? They absolutely can. Now, again, things are going to change over the next week or two or the next month or two or whatever it is, but the goal is to build an identity. That is why the regular season matters. And even though they've had a couple bad losses, and it's really weird, the pattern of this season so far, right? Like, they'll win a couple big games, they'll get a win they shouldn't have probably, and then they'll lose a couple that they should have won. They have to fix that. They have to pick these things up, and Nick Nurse needs to have his team ready every single night. I think Nurse has been doing better things, but, you know, in a game like last night, that was on him for not having his team ready as well. But the more that they get to play together and the more they get to build, I think we might actually finally get to see what this team's potential is. And we came into the year with 0 expectations after that disaster disappointment last year. And I guess where we're at the 34-game mark is I'm just having fun. I'm having fun finally watching Joel Embiid back out there. I'm happy for him. And the team is energetic. They play different. They're very versatile. And I hope it continues. But the question is, what comes next? Give me your thoughts down below. How do you feel about the 76ers right now? Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.